In that very moment, we were told that my husband has cancer. We were told that the cancer cells were very active and that he needed to start chemotherapy in 2 weeks' time. We had just gotten married about 5 days before finding out that he had cancer. Having to fly back an emergency flight back to England to find out this news was heartbreaking. We looked at each other in shock. We couldn't believe this is what we were coming home to. As he was in hospital and I was home alone, I would just cry. I would cry, not being able to control how I felt. Although at the same time I'm trying to be strong as a wife, but seeing your husband in pain in the hospital bed, with you not being able to do anything, with the doctor saying this is it, you know, we need to do chemo, and then in the future look to operate and remove the tumour, which means he'd be off work for about 2 years and he won't be able to walk, he won't be able to speak properly, he won't be able to move the side of his face where the tumour was. I was in the church and I decided to turn the situation around by using my faith. We started doing purposes, I started praying, I started using my faith and changing my mindset, not thinking that this will happen in a negative way, but something positive will come out of this, that this situation can change. The day that he went to go and sign the papers for the chemotherapy, he was told that he no longer has to do the chemotherapy because the cancer cells have stopped. And when he told me this, I was in so much shock and so happy that God had really answered and changed and began to change the situation around. Now my husband is cancer-free. We are so happy. I love him so much, more than even before. And I can see that so many other things, positive things are going to be happening for both of us because our faith, using our faith has never let us down.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. The topic for this evening is fate. Are you in control of your destiny? Can you control what happens in your life? There's a song, famous song that goes, Que sera, sera, whatever will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. Do you believe in that idea that we cannot change or influence what happens in our lives? Maybe there are certain things that have happened in your life and you thought to yourself, it was meant to be. There was no way that I could change that outcome. Let's have a look at the video for tonight to explain about tonight's topic.
Life is full of decisions. We spend a lot of our time making relatively simple decisions, such as what to have for breakfast or which route to take to work. But what about the big, life-changing decisions that we rarely have to take? Difficult decisions tend to make us feel stressed and uncomfortable. We don't want to feel responsible if the outcome is less than desirable. But the question is, do you want to be responsible for your own fate, or are you going to let life happen to you? Is it your fate, yes or no? People who are in control of their lives and are generally always moving in the right direction have a number of characteristics in common. They have a healthy, self-controlled set of habits. Their default behaviour is to eat well, to be organised and driven. People who feel that life just happens to them tend to be swayed by temptation and spend more time conforming to the behaviours of others. They tend to avoid thinking about their future and rarely set goals. But with a few changes and the development of positive habits, you can decide on your own fate. Is it your fate, yes or no?
So, can you change the course of your life? Can you have an influence on what happens in your life? Well, that's tonight's topic. Can you change your fate? Yes or no? I came across an article today regarding this, a lady by the name of Martine Wright, who was a victim of the 7/7 bombings, had both her legs amputated. She was on the Aldgate Underground train. And though she went through months of surgery, she was in a coma for 10 days. But this is what the article quotes that she says. She says she thinks that losing her legs was all part of her fate in life. So she thought that, you know, it was going to happen. It was going to happen. It was destined to happen, maybe. But what could I have done? Actually, that same morning, and many of my colleagues were out during that morning rush hour. I, with my colleague, went on a training course, and we just beat the rush hour, and we got there before everything. We started hearing about explosions going off. A colleague of mine, another colleague, two colleagues of mine were going to take the underground station, and it would have passed through King's Cross. But they decided on that morning to take the car to their journey. So many things happened on that day. What about the people that escaped those bombings? They made split decisions that changed the course of their life. So was it predestined, or was it something that was, you know, they decided to do? What's your thoughts and opinions on that? Well, tonight I have Victoria once again. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Your comments on this. What do you think? Is it predestined, or do we have an influence on what happens to us?
Well, I think you can get two types of people. You can have reactive people who are reacting to the environment. So those types of people will say that it is down to fate. So a bombing occurs, they couldn't have done anything anyway, therefore your path is set out and it's inevitable. Whereas other people are more proactive, which means that they will go out and find their own fate, and they will fight for causes, and if they are more likely to be more profoundly hurt psychologically if something like that does happen. So the lady that you were talking about is likely to be more reactive. So, I mean, that is very comforting psychologically, but you get two types of people, reactive and proactive.
Right. So what do you think? Can you influence what happens to you in life? Or is it all written in the stars? Right? This big, powerful, spiritual being has everything set out for you. What do you think? If you'd like to contact us, you'd like to share your opinions with us live on this program, then you can always give us a call. That number is 0207 686 6300. If you want to email us or tweet us your comments, over to Victoria with those details.
So you can send us an email. Our email address is help@findinganswers.tv, or you can talk to us on social media, send us a tweet. Just start your tweet with @FindAnswersTV, or search for us on Facebook. Just search for Finding Answers.
Well, there you have it, all right? If you want to contact us at any time, if you want to call in and speak to our guest and ask her any questions, and by the way, our guest tonight is someone who thought that her life was planned out, that things would just be the way it was. And like many of our guests who think that way after going through hard times, problems that have been forced upon them, if I can say that, but as you know, they turned their life around. We're going to go for a break now, and when we do come back, we're going to meet our guest for this evening. See you after this.
Hi, the Chrissy B Show airs live on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, coming to your homes with entertainment, life issues as well as hard-hitting topics, coupled with friendly and practical advice. I love to look at the happier side of life and believe a person can achieve amazing things when they put their mind to it. The Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life.
Are you a duck? What can it do? It swims, it walks, it flies. But does it do them all well? Yes, a duck can do all of the above, but it's not known for being great at any. So, are you a duck? Rather than attempting to do all things, why not be the best at one thing at a time? You will find you'll actually learn to be great at more things.
At Christian Books Plus, we offer a range of Christian books, Bibles, gifts, DVDs, and so much more. Our headquarters is situated in Finsbury Park, North London, and we have a few other stores located across London and around the UK. Our aim is to provide you with inspirational reads and beautifully packaged gifts that will enhance and strengthen your walk with God. However, if you prefer, you can shop from the comfort of your own home. On our newly revamped website, you can find the full range of products that we sell, from children's stories to Christian music. Purchasing from us is simple and easy. Select what you'd like, add it to your basket, fill out your details and proceed to the payment section, where you'll be able to make your purchase securely and have all the items delivered right to your door. We strive to provide the best service at all times, with staff that are warm, friendly, and always ready to help.
Welcome back to Finding Answers, and tonight's topic is your faith. Can you change it? Yes or no? My guest tonight is a young lady. Her name is Kimberly Gordon. So let's hear her story now.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Kimberly, welcome to the program. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
So, this topic, fate. Do you believe that things are written out for you, or do you believe that you can have an influence over your life?
If this was 7 years ago, then I would have said I kind of believed that things were kind of written for me just because of how my life was.
Right. So tell us about that then. How are things in your life?
When I first came to this country when I was 6, and I didn't really have any control over that because I was just kind of brought here. And when I was brought here, it's as if all the problems that come, it was as if I didn't have any control over them or how it would have ended up going. One of the biggest things I had was immigration problem. When I came, I was always told...
You came over here with who?
By myself.
By yourself?
Yes, when I was...
So you left your parents in your country?
Yeah, I left my mum and I came to see my dad here.
Okay.
So when I came, I realized that my papers wasn't sorted out and everything. And so I was always told that, that's how it is. You're always going to have immigration problems for the rest of your life. There's no way of solving that. There's no way of getting rid of it. Yeah.
Who told you that?
It was my dad and also my stepmom at the time. So it's like everyone around me had told me that. No one had told me any different. So because I was only 8, so I grew up until I was 12, 13, 15, thinking that that's just how it is if you have immigration problems.
So what did you think? You know what, I'm not going to be legal in this country. So as a young girl, what did you think? Did you think that immigration would be knocking on your door at any time? Did you think, I'm not going to start anything or, progress or, settle down here? What were you thinking when you heard that from your parents?
When I heard it when I was 8, I didn't really understand. So I just kind of went along with it because they were older, they knew better, that's why I went along with it. But as you get older, you start questioning those things. Okay, why can't I do that? So I started feeling very confused and a bit annoyed and angry because I felt as if it was something that was thrust upon me. I didn't ask, to come to this country, I didn't ask for this to happen. So why is it that, I can't do anything about it? I kind of felt a bit sad because I just thought, well, I can't do anything about it. I can't change it. I don't even know any way to change that problem. So it was kind of something that it really, I don't know, it really affected the way I was able to even like speak to people. I wasn't trusting, so I just thought I have a secret and I can't share it with anyone.
How did that affect you, in your studies? Because this is during like study time, right?
Yes, I was able to go to high school. Thankfully, I wasn't able to do like much. Like even going to the doctors was a funny thing because I didn't have like the name or the paper to even go to the doctors. So I didn't really even end up going to doctors.
So when you were ill, you had to stay at home.
I just had to find some other things to kind of get by. Going to school was fine. Going to college was when it became a bit of an issue because I didn't have the papers and I never spoken to anyone about it. Only my family around me knew and everything. It was kind of a bit difficult, but I was able to get in. How, I don't know, but I was able to get in and finish college and do college. It was after that my life kind of went like a standstill because I wasn't able to go to uni. I wasn't able to even work, so I could only do like small jobs where I could get cash in hand and stuff like that. And it didn't help like my confidence because I didn't know what to do about it because I still had that mindset that that's it, you'll be stuck with this kind of forever.
You mentioned that it was forced upon you that you came over here, and it's like, I don't have a future. So did you have any feelings or anger towards your mother back home in your country or your father over here?
I had more anger towards my father. My mother not much, but towards my father because he was the one who kind of did everything. So I thought it was his call to make sure everything was done properly, done right, but that wasn't the case. So I felt a lot of anger. I mean, I love my dad, but I also felt a lot of anger towards him. So it was this feeling of, I really do love my dad, but the anger of the immigration problem, not being able to do anything, the frustration, I would take it out a lot on him a lot.
Okay. Were there any other areas that were affected?
Within myself, I struggled with depression during my young teenage years up until my late teens, because it was.
How did that come about? This depression, this feeling low. How did it come about?
I was in high school once, and I did research about. I don't know. I started because of the immigration. I wasn't close to my family. I felt alone. It was just, I felt really isolated. So when like the feeling of depression just came, I just started feeling really sad, really like low. Like I didn't look forward to life anymore because I didn't have any future. So I don't know, one day I was just told that, young girls, especially when they go through their young teenage years, they go through depression. So for me, it was like, oh, so that's meant to happen. You're meant to feel like that. So when you get to maybe 20, 21 is when, the depression...
It's full blown.
Yeah, that's when it will probably, maybe it will go away. That's what I read. Right. So I thought, oh, that's what's meant to happen to you then. So I kind of accepted the depression.
Right.
Yeah. So
let me get that right. At 21, think it will end. Is that what you were told?
That's what I read. So
you read?
Yeah, and that's the only kind of information I could get.
Where did you read that from?
I read it online in the internet.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure that website's now banned or not working anymore, right?
I don't know how it came about.
Wrong advice. But obviously you were doing some research and trying to find out about this feeling that you were feeling. And that, as you said, it was to go away at 21. Okay. What happened when you reached 21?
Well, I'm 21 now, so...
Oh!
Yeah, but when I started realizing that it was only getting worse. When I was maybe 17, it was 5 years now that I still went through depression. And I started having thoughts that, really, is that how my life is going to be? I'm just going to have depression like that? Is that normal? I started having those questions. Is that how can it just go away like that and just come?
So it started off when you what? How old are you?
12.
The depression started at 12?
Yeah.
Okay. With this depression, you couldn't go to your doctor. So you kept that inside you. Did you share that with anyone? How you were feeling? Friends, family? Did anyone kind of say, Kimberly, I see you're down? Or did you just kind of put on a brave face?
I wasn't... Sometimes I was able to, when I was with my friends, I felt happier. So because I felt happier, I went along with it. But there was times when I couldn't hold that depression in. And even my stepmom at the time, my family, they would see that I looked sad. They didn't know that I felt depressed or that I felt suicidal, but they said that I looked sad. That was about it. I would just say, oh, I'm fine. Right. That's the only kind of thing I could say. I didn't feel comfortable speaking about them. My friends, they knew, I didn't tell them that I was depressed, but they knew that I was a sad person, because they would even ask, "Oh, do you hate your life?" And I would say, "Yeah."
Really?
Yes, because at that time I was 15, and I was no longer able to keep in everything that was happening to me, with my dad being in prison, and a lot of things was happening, so I wasn't able to now hold in the feeling I was feeling anymore.
So would you have like outbursts or arguments? What
I would have. I hated crying in public. That's something that my friends, they never ever saw me do up until I was 15.
Right.
But I remember one day I was in school, and a lot of things had happened where I was now kicked out of the house with my dad, and we were just walking around in the street kind of homeless. And it was that day that I came into school, and I just started crying. And everyone looked at me, because I was the kind of person that they never saw cry. So even the teachers, they were kind of like counseling me a little bit. They were kind of helping me. I never told anyone about my depression. But my friends, they could see that I broke down. I didn't know what else to do. I cried like a baby.
What triggered off that breakdown in class? What was it?
It was the fact that the night before I was kicked out. Police came to the house, everything, and I was basically homeless.
You were kicked out of the house?
Yes. It was.
Why?
For me, it was because my stepmom and my dad had an argument.
Right.
And so for me, I thought that because I was a child, that she would take me in, she would keep me where I would be safe. I didn't think that she would kick me out along with my dad. So it was at least 10 o'clock in the night, and then we just started walking around, and my dad didn't know what to do. My dad started crying, and that's when I thought, wow, things have gone really bad now. I don't know how I'm gonna solve this, because my dad is the one who's meant to be helping me. He's the one crying, so wow, things are really bad. So
what happened at night? You and your dad walking on the street alone. Where did you end up staying, if you found a place?
We ended up just staying at one of his friend's house, which was for the night and everything. And I remember that day I felt like that was like almost one of the lowest points. I felt as if everything had gone down. I had lost like my security, which was my house. At least if I had a bed to sleep on, I would have felt a lot better. I was able to then hold in the depression. But because I then lost my house, the TV, everything that I relied on, the comfort had gone. So now I could no longer hold in what I was feeling. So when the next day when I went to school, I thought I had it under control. I walked in, but the feeling that I felt was, I felt despair. I didn't know where to think, what to do with myself.
So how long did you stay at that friend's house? Was it just that night, or did you stay there for a bit longer? Yeah,
it was just that night, and then I don't know, my dad had to try to find some place for me to stay. So I ended up staying at another like family's house that I wasn't really comfortable with, but that was the only place that I could go because I was no longer able to stay back where I was. So that's what.
So you moved from place to place, right?
Yes.
House to house, depending on people's generosity.
Yes, that's basically what
That must have been really hard, not only for you, but then for your father, right? Who, he's the man. He's the one that takes care of everything, and yet he's lost all control of everything, right?
Yes.
Maybe you find yourself like Kimberly's story. Maybe there are situations that you are in now, that you're going through, and you have no control over what has happened to you so far, or what is going on in your life right now. And you feel as though, you know what? God's to blame for this. Why is my life like this? It's written, it's meant to be. Maybe you find yourself always down on your luck. Nothing seems to work. You have money, but you lose money. Money's like water in your hands. You're always getting sick. Every relationship you start ends in pain, right? Arguments. And no matter what you do, no matter how much you try to better your life, it seems that you go back to square one and the same things keep repeating itself. Do you really think that it's written that your life is a failure? That would be unfair, right? What about those who have made it in life, who are in a much better position than you are in? Does it mean that, their fate was written for them as well? Well, I don't know what you think, but if you'd like to give us a call, maybe you're in a situation now and you're desperate for for an advice, you're desperate for help, maybe what you need or what you know will work for you is prayer, then if you want our advice, you want our help, then please do pick up the phone, give us a call and speak to one of our advisors. The number's on the screen. It's 0207 686 6300. If you feel as though, I don't know what to do in my life, I'm lost, I can't take it anymore. Maybe you even feel suicidal, you're having suicidal thoughts, all right? And you want, an encouraging word, help, some advice, then pick up the phone and give us a call, all right? We're gonna go for a break now. When we come back, we're gonna hear the rest of Kimberly's story of how she turned her life around. And actually, everything depended on her. We'll see you after this.
Forgiving the person who betrayed you can be tough, and it can almost always leave a scar. The scar that remains from an abusive past can affect your future in so many ways. There are various forms of abuse, the seen and the unseen. We understand your pain because we have been through it ourselves. If you or someone you know is a victim of any form of abuse, help is available. Rahab, removing all hurt and abuse. We won't pretend it never happened, but our aim is to help you heal the wounds of the past so that you can build a happy future. We'll listen, we'll advise, we'll be your shoulder to cry on. It's free, confidential, and we're just a phone call away. For more information, call 0207 686 6000 or visit our website uckg.org/Rahab.
Welcome to your help centre. Conveniently located right here in the heart of Finsbury Park. Open 7 days a week with 4 services daily. There's surely something for everyone. No matter what time of day, there will always be a spiritual advisor on hand ready to speak to you. Or call our 24-hour helpline, your place to open up at any time of the day. If you're looking for motivational advice, a listening ear, or maybe just a prayer to put your mind at ease, then feel free to come in. No problem is too complex, so don't be dismayed. In fact, we have daily sessions that can tackle issues related to every area of your life, from the inside out. There's no appointment necessary, so you're welcome. And what's more, all the services we offer are all completely free. We offer practical, non-judgmental advice and motivational meetings that will give you the encouragement that you've been looking for. Also, if you're looking for special gifts or an inspirational read, then why not visit our bookshop? We have a comprehensive range of books and gifts at great prices. We also offer free childcare facilities during all of our meetings. So if you have little ones, let us take them off your hands. And for teens and youths, express your singing, dance and drama talent right here in our youth group. Proudly one of the biggest youth groups in the UK. If you need our support, you will find it. From the training centre that offers low-cost courses in media, business and language, to support groups for single parents, the elderly and the abused, free, confidential help is available. We work hard to provide for all your needs, from the inside out. Helping people is what drives us. So you're welcome.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight we're talking about fate. So let's go to the general public on the streets of London to see what they have to say about this topic.
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And
so you can have as many friends and families as you want, it just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like.
Hi, I'm Chika here on the streets of London for Finding Answers. Life is full of decisions that we have to make, but does that mean that we control our own fate? That's just what I'm going to be asking the general public. Let's see what they say. In your opinion, can we control our fate?
I think by saying fate, like, can we control what happens to us? Yes, I think we have a huge part to play, you know, positive mental attitudes, going after the opportunities that you want. Obviously, there's definitely a certain amount of luck, I think, but can we make a difference to our futures? Yes, absolutely.
No. I'm not even sure there is such a thing as fate. I think we make our own lives and our own futures.
That is a complicated one. I don't believe we can control our own fate. I believe we create our own luck, which in turn creates the fate that should have happened anyway. Yeah, but I don't think we can create our own fate. I think fate is something that's, I think you make bad decisions, good decisions or whatever, which controls parts of your life that can lead you in a different direction. But when it comes to fate, I think it's already planned out.
We do control our fate. It's what we do today that succumbs for what's going to happen tomorrow. So if we don't think about what we're doing now, you know, it's going to change your fate in 10 years' time. Don't think that what you're doing now isn't going to have an impact on you later in life, because we've all got a destiny and we've all got paths to follow. But if we don't choose the right ones, then it can go downhill from there.
Nah, not at all. I reckon everything's not predetermined, but everything's just going to happen and just go along with it.
Well, there you have it. Some people giving their opinions on fate. Now, let's go back to my guest tonight, Kimberly Gordon, who's going to share with us now how her life turned around. Now, Kimberly, you mentioned you had immigration problems, you were depressed, you were kicked out of your house, right? And you thought that all of these things was meant to be, right? And there was no way that things could change for you. How, did you ever think in your head that there is hope, there is light, there must be something better than this? Did you ever think that?
I didn't really think that, to be honest. I just kind of thought my life is just going to go the way it is going now. I didn't really think that I had a way of changing it. I didn't think I could change it, because I was never told that I could. So I grew up with that mentality that I couldn't change it.
That's like a really depressing outlook on life, right? This is how it's going to be until the day I die.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many people think like this as well, and they just do nothing to change their lives. But actually, you did learn what to do to change your life around, right?
Yes.
Tell us why are you here on this sofa sharing your story? How did things turn around for you?
Well, one day I was invited to attend a youth group that my friend came to me. And one of the reasons why I decided to go was because she was so excited. I'd never seen her so excited about something. She said, no, it's so different, you should definitely come. So I didn't come thinking that I would get anything out of it, but because she was so excited about it, I decided to come and see for myself. I thought I might as well give it a try.
What was different about this youth group your friend was attending?
What was different was that I remember there was another youth giving her testimony of how she changed, and the person was speaking about it. And for me, I never ever forgot what it is that I saw. And for me, that was the first time I ever saw someone who was one way and then they went a different path. So for me, it was like, wow. So I already thought, oh, can I change then? Can I get a different life than like this person? So it already awakened something inside of me that I didn't think I had. So that was one of the reasons why I was like, wow, so this space is really different. Then it gives you a way out already without even knowing that it could.
So you heard that girl's story. What did you do then?
Nothing really happened because I didn't really believe. It took a long while for my mentality and my thoughts to really change. But because I never forgot what I saw, I decided, okay, let me give this a try. They're speaking about faith, that God can change everything. So I thought, okay, I might as well give it a try because everything I've done in the past hasn't worked. Right. So I decided that I would listen to what people was telling me to do and everything. So when there was a moment in my life, I think 2012, that I had gotten really fed up with how everything was happening and what I was going through. So I just listening to everything they were saying, that it's also how you see things, because I realized that the way I saw my life, it was never going to change the way I saw it. I just saw that it was just going to happen. I never actually did anything about it. I was expecting my dad to do something. He was all the way back home in Jamaica. I was calling him for him to do something, and I was here in England. So already I thought, okay, my dad is not here. He can't do anything for me. I have to change it. I have to do something. I have to use my faith that I have to change my life. And
so did you learn how to use faith by going to this youth group, or what?
I learned it more in the church, which is also another part of it. I learned what the pastor was saying, that if you believe in things, then you can achieve, that you can make it. Your life doesn't have to be the way it has to be, and everything. And that it was already changing my mindset. I was like, okay, and hearing other people's testimony, I was like, okay, wow. So your life can really change. So apart from once I heard what the pastor was saying, I was then able to go out and actually put my faith into action to do something.
So this wasn't a message of fire and brimstone,
no.
Right? This was, positive messages with like real life stories of people who changed their lives around, and that rang true with you. You thought, you know what, this is what I want. My life can change.
Yes.
So, of course, you said it was church. So I assume there was prayer involved, right?
Yes.
Did you start learning how to pray for your situation, or did you go and do things, or was it a combination of both?
It was a combination of both. First, I learned how to pray. I've never knew how anything like that. I've never been to a church before, but I learned how to to pray and to ask God for help, which is something that I had never done before.
How do you ask God for help? Share with the viewers at home, because we have viewers who don't believe in God. We have viewers that may pray but don't know how to get results from their prayers. So what did you pray? How did you pray? What were you telling God?
I said exactly what I was feeling. That's something I was always told, you speak to God as if you're speaking to a person that's there. So, be open, say what it is that you felt. And at that time I felt sad. I said, I don't know how to pray. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to speak anyway. So I said exactly what I was feeling, and I said, no, if God is really here, then I would like to see something happen, something change in my life. And for the first time, I felt almost...
Were you saying, if you are really there, then I want you to change my life? Were you saying it like that, or just like a third person?
Like a third person, but that's what I was thinking.
Right.
That if I'm praying, then, and God is here, then...
I'm sure God understood what you were saying.
Yeah,
anyway,
then something would have to happen. So that was the first time when I made that prayer, the first time that I felt that I didn't feel the way I felt before, like really heavy and really, I felt as if, I kind of felt release, because I said everything that I felt. I even cried and everything. I was really young, but I just said everything that I was feeling and that what I would like to see happen in my life. So already that was me using faith, saying what is I want to see in my life, and believing that it could actually change.
So there was a prayer part of it, but then you said there was a practical side. So what did you start doing now to change your life around? Because it's the prayer, but it's what you have to do as well, right? Now, you didn't do anything before. Now, what did you start doing?
I started to believe in myself, that I had to, that, my life, many times, you thought to say that you can't make it, that's how your life is meant to be. For me, I started thinking more positive. So I would go out and I would do what it is I need to do. So even me feeling depressed and suicidal, that slowly it went away without me even having to like take medication or anything like that. It was simply because it's like as if I had kind of changed myself. I had changed my mentality. So no longer those suicidal thoughts would come in that, you know, your life is worthless, everything is out for you. Because I then replaced all those thoughts with positive ones that I was getting from the church and what the pastor was saying. And with my immigration, I'd learned, you know, to speak the truth, because before I was being told to lie and to do all the things that I wasn't comfortable with. So I thought, okay, do you know what? I'm going to say the truth. I'm going to do what it is that I know God will be pleased with me to do.
So you actually, do I take it you actually got involved or contacted the Home Office, immigration, things like that, or apply for your papers or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Did you start doing that?
There was this one day that I didn't know how to get in contact with a solicitor or a lawyer or anything like that. But I just Googled. I said, okay, I'm just going to try to find a way. I decided to do something about my life. So I just went online. I got involved. I got in touch with someone who replied back to me and said, okay, yeah, we can help you and everything. And, you know, she literally did everything for me. I was able to then, because I was meant to have a house, and because I was homeless at the time. She is as if everything just went without me having to even do that much, but I had to go out and find that help. Yeah. So this person helped me. I was able then to write the whole truth. This is the first solicitor, the first lawyer that I heard said, okay, no, say the truth. And I thought, wow, oh my gosh, because I didn't want to lie. So I wrote the whole truth, everything that had happened. I'd been in this country, you know, and that's what I passed on to the Home Office. And yeah, I did that, and it was as if I didn't need to. Everything went according to how I wanted it.
So while you were doing the practical side, were you also attending the youth group or the church and praying at the same time?
Yes, definitely. I was also doing that as well, because I had to combine both. So I had to pray, ask God for guidance, but I had to also go outside and do something so that He could, you know, honor what I was doing.
And did you start noticing the change in you? You were getting more confident. You were, you know, you becoming this different Kimberly. What did you notice about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. This is something that I was so afraid of, was my immigration. Something that I didn't know. I just thought that that's it. They're just going to send me back home, or something horrible is going to happen to me. But once I actually went and faced my fear, one of my biggest fears, it's as if I had become someone who I was more determined. I was determined to see my life change. I was determined, and it's almost as if I could see how my life, I then had a picture of how I wanted my life to be. It's as if all that blockage in my mind had gone, and I had now planned out a future. So I was even happier, going through the whole process of having to send the papers and speaking to the solicitor, the lawyer. It's as if it wasn't a burden. I felt happy. I felt like I'm doing something, I'm achieving something. I'm actually able to change my life. So it became something that was a motivation for me to be able to go and achieve and get my life.
So eventually, you got your stay in this country. After how long since you started, you know, you Googled that solicitor, from then to getting your papers, how long did that take?
I think it was around 6 months. 6 months? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, or less than that. It was around that. It didn't take long, it was like maybe 4 or 6 months.
And regarding the depression, the low feeling that, you know, because as you mentioned, you're 21, right?
Yes.
But when did it actually stop for you? You're no longer depressed now.
Yes.
Some people say you're stuck with depression. It's incurable, right? But you're no longer down, depressed, sad anymore. How long did that take?
That went as soon as I came to the church, but it completely went maybe when I was 17, 18. It was something that I had started, as soon as I stepped in this place, I actually felt a lot more happier. So it was as if I didn't even realize when it had gone, because I was surrounded by so much positivity that I could no longer think of depressing thoughts. Or even when the thoughts came, it wasn't able to stay for long.
What about when you were away from that positive environment and then you were on your own in the midst of your father and things like that? Did that feeling come back?
No, the thoughts would always come back. The feeling would always come back. But what I'd learned is how to not accept those feelings, because I was someone, I just allowed anything to come. Okay, if I felt angry, I'll be angry. If I felt sad, I'll be sad. If I felt, but then I learned that there's some things you can accept and some things you don't accept. So whenever the feelings of depression or sadness or you can't make it, you're not going to make it, what I learned, I was able to take it outside with me, and then I was able to kind of fight those thoughts, those feelings that would try to come upon me. So it's as if I would act anyway, even if I felt sad, or even the thoughts were saying that you can't make it, I would act anyway, and it would change.
No longer depressed?
No longer depressed, no.
You have your stay in this country?
Yes.
Where are you now in your life? What are you achieving now in life?
I was able to finish college, so at the moment I'm working something I never thought I could do. I never thought I would even be able to even do an interview or even pass an interview. So now I'm working. Now I have my own place. I'm looking, my future is so much different I have like goals and aims, and I never had that before. I never had like an outlook for life. I'm really like excited to go out and actually do many things that before I just thought I'd be an average person.
So at the church where you attend now, you learnt or you received the tools that were needed in order to change your life around.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Kimberly, thank you very much for coming and sharing your story with us. Now, we're going to go for a break. Before we do, I just want to show you a quick motivational video on this topic of faith. And when we come back from the break, of course, as usual, we'll be praying for you. If at any time, between now and the end of the program, you'd like to give us a call. If, you want some advice, you want some information on how to change your life around, what to do, then the number's on your screen, okay? Let's show you this video now. After the break, we'll come back for the prayer.
The ultimate resources are emotional states. If you're creative enough, can you find the answer? Yes or no? If you're determined enough, can you find the breakthrough? Yes or no? If you're passionate, loving enough, can you get someone to help you? Yes or no? If there's no way that you're committed, can you find the money, even if you don't have it? Yes or no? So I said creativity, decisiveness, passion, honesty, sincerity, love. These are the ultimate human resources. And when you engage these resources, you can get any other resource on earth. And I said, so you told me all the resources you're missing, and you hypnotize yourself into believing that you don't have what you want because you don't have the resources, when the most successful people in history had no resources, but they were incredibly resourceful, so they got the resources.
If you cannot find meaning in your life, it is your responsibility as a human being to create it, whether that is fulfilling dreams or finding work that gives you purpose and self-worth.
You have to have something that separates you from everybody else on earth, and until you find out that's something, you will be stressed and you will be struggling. But everybody has it, or anybody can create it.
Understand, people will constantly attack you in life. One of their main weapons will be to instill in you doubts about yourself, your worth, your abilities, your potential. They will often disguise this as their objective opinion, but invariably it has a political purpose. They want to keep you down. You are continually prone to believe these opinions, particularly if your self-image is fragile. In every moment of life, you can defy and deny people this power. You do so by maintaining a sense of purpose, a high destiny you are fulfilling.
How do you heal the wounds of a broken soul? Let us help you.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, before we go for the prayer, our topic tonight is talking about fate. And I want to share with you my opinion on this. You know, we have choices that we need to make every single day. You decide whether you want to get out of bed or not. You decide if you want to get fit or not. You decide if you want to take drugs, smoke the first cigarette, take that first sip of alcohol. You decide if you want to sleep with someone, or you decide not to sleep with that someone. But your decisions come with consequences. They can be positive, they can be good, or they can be negative, they can be bad. Now, that's your choice. You decide what you want to do. It is not God that has predestined, or the cosmos, or the energies, or whatever you want to call it, that decides your future. That's you. You've heard on this program, there are people that have beaten cancer when the doctors have said, we can't do anything for you. We've had people that made decisions and turned their life completely around. So they didn't sit down and wait for future events to actually happen to them. They decided to do something about it. And guess what? God likes when you have that attitude. When you get up off that sofa and you decide to do something to change your life. And of course, you find obstacles, you find things that are hard to change, then you pray to Him. You turn to Him and He will help you through those difficult moments. So right now, what are we going to do? I'm going to pray for you now. And you decide if you believe in this prayer or not. You decide after this prayer if you will take action or not. But believe me, there is nothing such as fate or predestination. It's all here in your hands. It's time for prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your love life or relationship, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My Lord and my God, I pray, Father, and I ask you to help this person who maybe through the events that have taken place in their life, they thought that they don't have any control over what's happened. Some even blame you for what has happened to them. But my God, maybe certain things have happened to this person, but it doesn't mean that it's downhill all the way. There are things that they can still do to turn the course of their life around. So Father, the one that knows everything, the one, my God, is all-knowing, all-powerful, help this person just to have a little bit of your thoughts, the way that you think. And I pray that they will take some form of action now, today, tonight, tomorrow, when they get out of their bed. My God, if there is anything that is hindering their positive thinking, remove these negative thoughts from their mind and give them now a positive outlook on life, like you have a positive outlook. This is what I pray, my Father. And just as Kimberly's life has changed because of prayer and her actions, may this person also follow suit and see the results that they need to see in their lives. In Jesus' name, amen. There, it's in your hands. Decide what you will do tomorrow, because the next day you will bear the fruit of it. Until the next time, have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.